Earlier this week, number 25 Auburn travels up to San Jose to take on the number 4 ranked team taking the nation by surprise, the San Jose State Spartans. So, opening on a 4th down, Joe Gray, his pass would come incomplete. Now Jonathan Wallace across the middle, and that would be intercepted by the Big Blue defense. And that would set up a fresh set of downs for San Jose State. Now Joe Gray sending Casey Pierce in motion across the right side on the halfback sweep. Cuts in, cuts out, and he would take this one all the way to the end zone. Casey Pierce from 43 yards out, giving San Jose State a 7-0 lead. But then just like that, later next drive, Jonathan Wallace from 10 yards out on the read option would keep it. And he would tie things up back at 7. Now Joe Gray dropping back to throw, going right side. There's Casey Pierce again, and using his speed to get to the outside edge, and he would eventually be pushed out of bounds. Now set up a 2nd and goal, and Joe Gray from 1 yard out. That would be no problem for him. Up 14-7. Now Jonathan Wallace up the middle. He'd break one tackle, and it would be off to the races as Jonathan Wallace would rack up his 2nd touchdown rush of the day, tying this game back up at 14 apiece. Now 1st and 10. Joe Gray handed it off. Eric Wilson up the middle and showing his running ability now. He would take that one to the house, putting San Jose State up 21-14. Now San Jose State with the ball again. Jabari Carr across the middle. 18-yard reception. Now a 4th and 7. Going for it again. This time read option. Joe Gray showing us what he can do on his feet again. Pick up the 1st down. Now 3rd and 12. Joe Gray to the right corner of the end zone, and Jabari Carr is there from 18 yards out, doubling their lead now to 14, 28-14. But right before halftime, Auburn would strike again. They weren't going to give up just that quite easily. Jason Smith from 70 yards out. Now it's 28-21, end of the 3rd quarter-ish here, and Eric Wilson would get the call, and he would go in for the touchdown, putting San Jose State up 35-21. Now 3rd and 15, Joe Gray dropping back to throw, going deep. Bryce Boba was the intended target, but Joshua Holsey was there for the deflection. 4th and 15. Don't know what they're thinking about going for it, but they do, and that is a connection to Jabari Carr for a 1st down. And that would pay off as later in the drive, 1st and goal, Joe Gray would keep it on his feet for yet another rushing touchdown, pushing this lead up to 42-21. Now, Jonathan Wallace dropping back to throw in the pocket, moving to his right, going left side, and there would be Frierson. He would be there to pick it off. That would be the 3rd turnover of the game for Auburn. Now 1st and go, Joe Gray would drop back to throw to the end zone. Casey Pierce would be there for the reception. And so that would make it 49-21. Now Joe Gray dropping back to throw would go to the left side. That would be picked off by Davis, but it would be too little too late, as Auburn still would end up falling to number 4 in the nation, San Jose State. So they have a good chance to improve their ranking, as number 3 did fall this week. So until next time, guys, later.
China take on a tough assignment in their opening game as they tangle with the football machine of Oklahoma, perennial Big 7 champion. And this is just the opening gun in a schedule that also includes Maryland and Notre Dame. The Sooners, coached by Mr. Split T himself, Bud Wilkinson, and spearheaded by All-America prospect Bob Burris, have been picked to finish among the top 10. First quarter, North Carolina is forced to punt. Bill Fry gets away an end-over-ender that's taken by Jimmy Harris. Harris bolts up the sideline to midfield on a beautiful run back. But there's a flag down. Oklahoma is detected clipping. That must put the ball in play from its own 1-yard line. The Sooners are set to go. Jim Harris fumbles the snap. John Billick pounces on the ball, and it's a North Carolina touchdown. Conversion attempt fails, but the Tar Heels are away to a 6-0 lead. That lead is still good late in the 2nd quarter as North Carolina mounts an offensive. Quarterback Dave Reed turns right in for a 1st down on the Tar Heel 27. Reed shows the Sooners how the split T works as he keeps and carries to his own 40-yard line. The Tar Heels sophomore quarterback takes to the air as he bullseye to Ed Sutton, who gets to the 47. But the Sooners take the starch out of the Tar Heel offensive, and the drive comes to a halt as Bill Fry punts to the Oklahoma 20. Tom McDonald takes it. Oklahoma quarterback Jim Harris gets the Sooners on the march with a sparkling dash to the North Carolina 43. Billy Pricer punches through a hole in the Tar Heel forward wall for a first down on the 32. Jim Harris gives off to Pricer, who flips to Bob Burris, and the Sooners pick up another first down on some Southwestern razzle-dazzle. Bob Burris, whose two brothers were All-Americans at Oklahoma, lives up to his famous name as he makes it goal to go on the 7. On fourth down, Tommy McDonald tears through the Tar Heel, and it looks like he's over, but it's down to the 1-yard line. The half ends with a sophomore studded Tar Heel squad hanging on to a surprising 6-0 lead over Oklahoma. In the third quarter, Oklahoma do something about the score with Jim Harris showing the way. Bob Burris bores his way into Tar Heel territory as he carries to the 44. Set back by a penalty, the Sooners call on Burris again, and he scrambles through the North Carolina secondary on a beautiful run to the Tar Heel 34. Billy Pricer finds running room on the left side and slams to the North Carolina 23. Tommy McDonald takes a pitch out and fires one of the few passes of the game. John Bell wraps it up, and once again it's goal to go for the Sooners. Boots a perfect placement to put Oklahoma into the lead, 7-6. In the fourth quarter, the Sooners are still trying for insurance against the tough, alert Tar Heel. Tommy McDonald wheels around right end and goes all the way, but he was out of bounds at the 11. Bob Burris digs into the line to pick up 5 yards. When the going gets tough, the Sooners call on Burris, and he delivers the ball to the North Carolina 2. Faced with an 11-man line, Tommy McDonald goes to the outside and scores a second Sooners 6-pointer. Oklahoma remains undefeated in taking the determined Tar Heels 13-6 and breathes a sigh of relief as it points for power-packed Pittsburgh. Touchdown cameras travel to Norman, Oklahoma for the intersectional game of the week as Oklahoma meets Pittsburgh. It will be Sooner speed against Panther power, and this game figures to be one of the toughest hurdles in the schedule of either team. Bud Wilkinson Oklahomans are guarding a string of 20 straight victories, while Pittsburgh is undefeated in 2 starts this year. Oklahoma is on its way in the first period as Jim Harris keeps for 3 yards and a Sooner first down. With the ball in the Oklahoma 45, Harris laterals to Tommy McDonald, who hurls a pass to Bob Burris, good for a 12-yard advance, and the Sooners are in Panther country. Now you're going to see what we mean by Sooner speed. On a delayed handoff, Tommy McDonald flashes into the Pittsburgh secondary, picks up blocking, and races 43 yards for an Oklahoma touchdown. Oklahoma leads Pittsburgh 7-0. The Panthers try to move on the arm of Carney Salvatierra, but Don Stiller steps in to intercept and return the ball to his own 48. Bud Wilkinson's Sooner speedsters explode into action. Behind a great block by Billy Pricer, Tommy McDonald wheels around end and reels off 23 yards. It takes a slow-motion camera to slow down the Sooners. Bob Burris blasts his way to the Pittsburgh 5-yard line, where it takes 6 Panthers to pull him down as the first quarter ends. From the 1, Burris gets the ball again and burrows into the end zone as Oklahoma opens the second quarter by boosting its lead to 13-0 over powerful Pitt. Taking possession on a Panther punt, Oklahoma sets out for more of the same, with Denny Morris picking up 7. Lyndon Thomas gets a pitch out, rolls out to his right and passes. Carl Dodd grabs it, and Oklahoma is on the Pitt 36. From the 31, the Sooners work the same play that scored for them earlier. Lyndon Thomas is on his way with speed to spare and crosses untouched as Oklahoma assumes a cozy 19-0 spread. Pittsburgh mounts an offensive in the waning moments of the first half with Corny Salvatierra passing to Dick Pasadelis on the Sooner 49. Salvatierra again looks downfield as the seconds tick away. He passes complete to Joe Walton, and the Panthers have a threat going. Salvatierra again back to pass. With the Sooner defense spread out, he finds running room and takes off on a beautiful open field gallop that brings the Panthers to the Oklahoma 20. Salvatierra has the Panthers on the prowl. He passes again, but his toss is picked off by Don Stiller, and the first half ends with Oklahoma on top of a 19-0 tally. Late in the third period, Salvatierra sparks another Pitt drive. His pass is taken by John Pallett. Fullback Tom Jenkins fools the Sooners on a nicely executed draw play as he streaks to midfield on a 14-yard sprint. Corny Salvatierra keeps the Oklahoma defense guessing. He fakes a pass and then lopes for 8 yards. A holding penalty gives Pitt another 15. Salvatierra puts power into a quarterback sneak that's good for a first down on the Sooner 16. In 37 quarters, no one has crossed the Sooner goal on the ground, and Salvatierra doesn't even try as he hoists one to Joe Walton, who is all alone in the end zone. Pitt hits the scoreboard, trailing Oklahoma 19-7. In the fourth quarter, the Panthers are still out to spoil the afternoon for the Sooners. Charlie Cost takes a lateral and canters to the Oklahoma 28. Salvatierra proves hard to stop as he shakes off a tackler and flips to Bob Rossborough, who dives to the Sooner 18. The Panthers keep the ball in the air. Salvatierra looks to his left and lets go a down-and-outer to Charlie Cost on the Oklahoma 9. Salvatierra again calls for a pass. John Pallett pulls this one in, and Pittsburgh is on the 1-yard line. The Panthers stick to the ground this time, and Charlie Cost snaps that Sooner streak by plunging across. Pittsburgh cuts the Oklahoma lead to just 5 points at 19-14. Oklahoma is out to widen that lead. Billy Pricer pounds straight ahead to move into Pittsburgh territory. Pricer tries right guard this time and finds a big opening as he bolts to the Pitt 34. Jimmy Harris runs to his right and lobs a delayed pitch out to Tommy McDonald, who rams his way for 20 yards as the Sooners shift into high gear. McDonald polishes off the drive by squeezing through the line and over for the score. Oklahoma remains undefeated against the powerful Panthers of Pittsburgh by a score of 26-14. The Cotton Bowl at Dallas is crammed with a capacity-plus crowd for the annual battle between the Longhorns of Texas and the Oklahoma Sooners. This is one of the hottest rivalries in the Southwest, dating back to 1900, with the Longhorns on the losing end of the last 3 meetings. Oklahoma is guarding the longest winning streak in collegiate football, 21 games. But Texas head coach Ed Price has his steers raring to go as Oklahoma takes the field. After receiving the opening kickoff, Texas tries to travel on the arm of Joe Clements, but Jerry Tubbs intercepts for Oklahoma on the Longhorn 33. Tommy McDonald drives up the middle to pick up 6 yards. Jimmy Harris comes back and hands off to Tommy McDonald. Tommy tears around right in and lopes through the Longhorns on a 28-yard touchdown trip. It puts Oklahoma out in front of Texas 6-0. Jimmy Harris will attempt the extra point. The pass from center is high and the kick is blocked. Oklahoma still leading 6-0. In the second period, the Texans come back on the passing attack sparked by Joe Clemens. He hits Joe Youngblood on the Longhorn 28. Clemens cranks up and fires again. Menon Shriver is on the other end for a 7-yard gain. The Steers stampede into Sooner territory as Clement clicks with Shriver to put the ball in the 49. Del Womack waffles the center of the Oklahoma line for 5 yards. Fourth down finds the Longhorns a yard short. Clement sneaks but fails to make it, and Oklahoma takes over. The Sooners send Cecil Morris crashing through the Steers to the Texas 25. Quarterback Jay O'Neill keeps the ball as he goes through the line, then pitches back to Cecil Morris, who gets to the Longhorn 14. Price sweats this one out as the Steers dig in with fourth down coming up. Bob Burris passes, but it's broken up, and Texas takes over on its own 16. The Longhorns' Charlie Brewer gambles on a pass deep in his own territory and loses as Tommy McDonald intercepts to bring the ball to the Texas 7. The Sooners make it all the way this time. Tommy McDonald sprints for home and makes it standing up as Oklahoma ups its advantage over the University of Texas 13-0 at the end of the first half. The Longhorn herd hits the trail again in the third period. Clemens gets things moving with a perfect peg to Shriver on the Texas 36. Del Womack gets the ball and comes around left end. He runs into a crowd of Sooners and takes them with him for 8 yards. Quarterback Clemens has found a flaw in the Sooner defense, and he takes advantage with another bullet pass to Menon Shriver to the Oklahoma 46. Clements tries to keep Texas moving through the air, but Doyle Jennings breaks through to smother him for a 15-yard loss on his own 39. Second down with 25 to go. Texas crosses up the Sooners as Del Womack works the delayed buck. He laterals to Walt Fondren, who rips and twists his way for 32 yards. The Longhorns have their deepest penetration, but the Oklahoma defense is airtight. Joe Clemens hurls a fourth down pass. It's broken up, and Texas must give up the ball. The Sooners move immediately into Texas territory. Jim Harris keeps them moving as he hangs onto the ball and crashes to the 37. Tommy McDonald takes a pitch out and then lobs a pass to John Bell as the Oklahomans move to the Longhorn 29. Jim Harris keeps the ball and scrambles through the left side. He pitches back to Billy Pricer, and Billy barreled for 21 yards to make it goal to go for the Sooners. Bob Burris dives over for the score as Oklahoma extends its winning streak to 22 by defeating the Texas Longhorns for the fourth straight time. The final score, 20-0, marks the first time since 1938 that Oklahoma has been able to shut out Texas in this traditional game. The Sooners of Oklahoma, still sporting the longest undefeated record in collegiate football, come up against the Colorado Buffaloes, a team which always gives them trouble. Oklahoma is after its 24th in a row, but the Buffs are determined to stop it at 23. Late in the opening period, Homer Jenkins punts for Colorado. Tommy McDonald takes it on the 2 and starts upfield. He comes back to allow his blockers to form, but the Buffs boom in to dump him on the 1-yard line. Jim Harris tries to move the ball out on the quarterback keeper play, but it gets away from him, and Dick Golder grabs it to take over for Colorado with goal to go as the first quarter ends. Fullback Johnny Bayuk blasts through the middle of the line to score for the Buffs, and Colorado takes a surprising 7-0 lead over Oklahoma early in the second period. Once again, Oklahoma tries to move, but Jay O'Neal fumbles. The alert Buffs cash in again as Lamar Meyer recovers to put Colorado on the Sooner 25. The Buffaloes are on their way. Homer Jenkins hoists a pass to Lamar Meyer, and it's Colorado on the 15. The Colorado ground attack takes over, and seconds later, Emerson Wilson culminates the drive by pushing over to score. It's 14-0 Colorado, and things look black for the Sooners. Billy Kutra kicks off for Colorado. Bob Burrows takes it on his own 21 and sprints upfield on a dazzling 33-yard run back that puts the Sooners in Buffalo country. The Sooners go airborne on the arm of Tommy McDonald. He finds Bob Timberlake for a first down on the Colorado 15. The running of Bob Burrows has been the backbone of this attack, and he tops it off with a tally from 3 yards out as Oklahoma gets back in the game at 14-7, with Colorado still leading. The Sooners corral the Buffaloes in their own backyard, and Homer Jenkins gets away a fourth down punt. Tommy McDonald takes it on the 39 and gallops back to the Colorado 27 to put Oklahoma in scoring position. The Sooners would sooner score than anything else. McDonald takes a pitch out and passes. John Bell rings the bell with a first down on the Colorado 16. All-American candidate Bob Burrows provides the final push that deadlocks the game. Oklahoma now 14-14 with Colorado. With seconds left in the half, Oklahoma gets possession on a punt and works McDonald in a passing position. It's complete to Joe Mobra for 17 yards. An interference penalty puts the Sooners on the Buff 15, and Bob Derrick takes it from there on a scintillating 12-yard strike. The clock is running out, but enough seconds remain for Tom McDonald to squeeze into the end zone to put Oklahoma in the lead at halftime, 21-14 over a game but outgunned Colorado. In the third period, Oklahoma's prowess at running back punts proves the undoing of Colorado. Tommy McDonald catches up with Homer Jenkins' punt at midfield and contributes a rousing 37-yard run back to the Sooner cause. Bob Burrows, who's getting to be an old hand at this sort of thing, bangs across his third touchdown, and Oklahoma leads Colorado 28-14. Moments later, Oklahoma finds itself in a kicking situation. Billy Pricer gets it away. The ball bounces away from Dick Hyson, and the wide-awake Bob Timberlake pounces on it to put the Sooners back in possession on the Colorado 35. Jimmy Harris hangs on to the hog-hide as he works the quarterback keeper for a first down on the Buffalo 6. From close in, Tommy McDonald gets the call and closes out the third period by scoring for Oklahoma. After 3 periods, it's OU 35, Colorado 14. But it's the Buffs who come up with the play of the game in the fourth quarter. Dick Hyson shows that he is air-minded with a pinpoint pass to Frank Clark that goes all the way 54 yards for a Colorado touchdown that narrows the gap to 35-21 Oklahoma. The Sooners come charging back from the kickoff. Clendon Thomas turns in an electrifying 27-yard trip around right in that puts Oklahoma in Colorado territory. From the 23, Dennett Morris barrels through the Buffs to up the count to 42-21. Oklahoma adds 2 more as the Sooners take dead aim on the top national rankings with victory number 24, a resounding 56-21 rout over Colorado University. The Cornhuskers of Nebraska have a tough row to hoe as they take the turf at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln to battle the nation's #1 team, the Sooners of Oklahoma, who are gunning for their 28th straight victory, the longest streak in collegiate football. Oklahoma head coach Bud Wilkinson's attack is sparked by the running and passing of his great halfback, Tommy McDonald. The Sooners strike like lightning. Jim Harris breaks through the line for 17 yards and then flips to Billy Pricer, who roars downfield. But the officials ruled the pass illegal, and Oklahoma settles for a first down at its own 35. The ball goes to Billy Pricer. He fumbles, and Doran Post recovers to give the Cornhuskers possession deep in Oklahoma territory. Don Irway takes to the air for Nebraska with a perfect pitch to Willie Greenlaw as the Cornhuskers move to the Sooner 28. In the Nebraska attack, anybody is likely to throw the ball. This time, Rex Fisher lets go, and it's complete to Greenlaw on the Oklahoma 14. First down, Nebraska. The Cornhuskers are out to snap that Sooner streak. Willie Greenlaw scrambles to the Sooners 7. Once again, Rex Fisher is set to pass. But the Sooners scotch the Nebraska scoring bid as Dennett Morris intercepts on the 2-yard line and gallops back upfield on a 31-yard return. The Sooners go right to work. Carl Dodd doesn't know when to quit as he makes a miraculous recovery for a 10-yard carry to the Oklahoma 43. Dodd does it again. He barrels across midfield and delivers the ball to the Nebraska 39 for a Sooner first down. The Oklahoma powerhouse rumbles goalward. Dennett Morris picks his spot and gets it for an 11-yard pickup. With the ball on the Cornhusker 10, Clendon Thomas turns on the power and almost goes all the way as he brings Oklahoma to the 1-inch line. Jay O'Neill jars the Cornhuskers with a successful sneak that puts Oklahoma in front of Nebraska 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Neither team can get rolling until late in the first half. Then an interception puts Oklahoma on the march with Tommy McDonald mauling for 9 yards. From the Nebraska 19, Billy Pricer powers for 12 big yards, and it's goal to go for Oklahoma. The goal is just where they're going. Bob Burris bores straight ahead to score. At the half, it's Oklahoma 13, Nebraska nothing. A third quarter surge puts the Sooners on top 20-0, and they're off and running again as Clendon Thomas gets loose and filters through the entire Cornhusker aggregation before being pulled down from behind 59 yards later. But Oklahoma was holding, and the ball comes back. The Sooner attack gets back on the track with Tommy McDonald at the throttle on a 14-yard trek to the Nebraska 41. Bob Burris shows a kind of drive that typifies the Orange Bowl-bound Sooners as he picks up 9 yards. Willie O'Neill doesn't let the pressure off the Cornhusker line as he finds an opening and makes the keeper pay off for 10 yards. Oklahoma grinds to the 1, and Tommy McDonald polishes off the drive as the Sooners take a 27-0 lead over Nebraska. In the final period, the Cornhuskers shake up the Sooners and give the hometown rooters something to cheer about as Willie Greenlaw gallops away on a 40-yard trip that takes him into Oklahoma territory. The Cornhuskers get to the Sooner 28, but disaster overtakes them there as Rex Fisher fumbles and Oklahoma recovers to stall the drive. The OU boys show how it's done. After moving into Nebraska territory, they send Clendon Thomas wheeling to the Cornhusker 13. From the 6, Thomas totes for the tally to make it Oklahoma 34, Nebraska nothing. The Sooners continue to pour it on, and the final count reads 41-0. The Oklahomans vindicate their choice as the nation's #1 team and stretch their string to 28 straight. They say now point for a date with Maryland in the Orange Bowl.
The 22nd Orange Bowl Classic, a stirring, star-spangled spectacle, provides a breathtaking climax to Miami's most famous sports jamboree. Maryland, champion of the Atlantic Coast Conference and ranked third nationally, meets Oklahoma, perennial kingpin of the Big Seven. The Sooners, voted the #1 team in the nation, bring the country's longest winning streak, a string of 29 straight victories, into the Orange Bowl. Screen star Gloria DeHaven is the official Maryland mascot, and the Terrapins hope her presence will inspire them to avenge a 7-0 loss to Oklahoma 2 years ago in this same Orange Bowl. It's Jim Tatum of Maryland on the left and Oklahoma's Bud Wilkinson, two of football's most successful coaches. Today it's pupil-facing teacher, for Wilkinson was once Tatum's assistant at Oklahoma. 76,000 sun-drenched spectators leaped to their feet in the first quarter as Maryland's explosive running back Ed Verub streaks through the Sooners on the game's longest run from scrimmage. Verub tears off a 66-yard gain before Jay O'Neill's desperation dive spills him on the Oklahoma 10-yard line. As Terrapin fans roar for a score, their hopes are dashed as Wayne Greenlee forces Frank Tamburello to fumble. OU's Don Stiller recovers to smother the Maryland drive. It's 0-0 moving into the second period. Oklahoma, which led the country in scoring, passes from deep in its own territory. Carl Dodd takes the toss from Clendon Thomas, but Sooner joy is short-lived as a holding penalty shoves OU back to its 5-yard line. The Sooners try to take the Terps by surprise with Clendon Thomas getting off a quick kick. Maryland's Dave Noose races to recover the ball and returns to the Oklahoma 38-yard line. On a quick opening play, Ed Verub darts for a first down on the Sooner 15. Versatile Ed Verub, the Terrapins' triple threat terror, tries to pass, but spots an opening, reverses field, and behind All-American Bob Pellegrini's bone-crushing block, Verub veers into the end zone. The touchdown makes Verub the leading scorer in Maryland history and gives the underdog Terrapins a 6-0 advantage. Maryland regains possession late in the first half, but not for long. Frank Tamburello passes, but this play goes the wrong way when Jim Harris intercepts and returns 13 yards to the OU 48. With time running against them, the Sooners take to the air. Jim Harris throws to Bob Burris, who kills the clock on the Maryland 43. Oklahoma gives its all as Harris connects with Billy Pricer, who battles to the Terrapin 25, but the clock runs out, and Maryland's 6-0 lead looks bigger even at halftime. During the intermission, the huge throng is treated to a spectacular pageant over which lovely Lynn Brown, the Orange Bowl queen, reigns. Oklahoma forces Maryland to kick early in the third quarter. Ed Verub's punt is taken by Tommy McDonald, and on a near-perfect planned return, McDonald races back along the near sideline for 33 yards to the Terrapin 46. Oklahoma grinds goalward with Billy Pricer powering 5 yards. Sooner speed becomes more prominent as Bob Burris bulls to the Maryland 28. Oklahoma's razzle-dazzle pitch and pass play from Harris to McDonald to Burris makes it goal to go on the Terrapin 7-yard line. On a pitch out, Tommy McDonald, the Sooner speed demon, packs the pigskin to pay dirt, and Oklahoma rallies to take the lead for the first time at 7-6. Maryland is held in check by the stubborn Sooner defense, and Lynn Vital kicks to Clendon Thomas on the OU 38. Thomas returns 11 yards, and Oklahoma has the ball at midfield. The Sooners' spark is ever present now. It's Clendon Thomas this time for 7 yards. Carl Dodd does it here as he cracks out another 7-yard advance. Unrelenting precision highlights this Oklahoma drive. Dennett Morris moves to the Maryland 18. Jay O'Neill feeds Carl Dodd on a pitch-out play, and Dodd makes his way to the Terrapin 2-yard line. Maryland's Jim Tatum is as tense as anyone as he sees his 16-game winning streak running out. Jay O'Neal squeezes into the end zone, and Oklahoma leads. In the final period, Maryland's Lynn Bytall tries a first down pass. OU Dodd couldn't be sooner as he picks off the pass on the dead run, puts his head down, and he's off to the races. Dodd sprints for 82 yards in the most spectacular play of the day. A power-packed and precision Oklahoma team just as national champion and makes it 30 straight victories by defeating Maryland 20-6 in the Orange Bowl Classic.